Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Destiny and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to show you guys how to submit a form using Django and Ajax. Okay guys, so I want to go ahead and demo the projects that we're going to be building in this video. So this is what we've got over here, a very simple profile creation form, and as you can see, we've got the full name, the bio, email address, and the phone number. Okay, so what we simply need to do is go ahead and fill in this information here. So I can say something like Destiny Franks, and my bio should be let's say software engineer, and the email should be we can say desphixs@gmail.com, and for the number we can say something like let's just say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9, whatever. Then we hit submit. So what do you notice when we hit submit? It's just displays an alert that says profile created successfully for Destiny, and it didn't refresh the page. I can hit submit again. You'll see it didn't refresh the page, so everything is working perfectly fine. Okay, let me go ahead and create one more profile. I can say Karen Doe, and graphics designer email address can be something, and the number can be blah 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 blah. Now take note of this place. When you hit submit, what do you notice? It does not refresh the page, and it says profile successfully created for Karen Doe. How about we head back to the back end and refresh this? So as you can see, I have Karen Doe and I have Destiny Franks. Okay, so these are other profiles that I created before now. Now as you can see, when you open this up, it's successfully filling in the full name, the bio, the email, and the phone. Okay, so in this video, I just showed you guys how to do all this without attaching a foreign key, a user foreign key to it. So this is not inclusive in this video, just the full name, the bio, the email, and the phone. But if for any reason you want to see this this functionality, just drop a comment in the comment section and I'll just add this in. It should take no time at all. I'm just gonna upload the video if you guys are interested in seeing the functionality that has the user foreign key in it. Okay, but nevertheless, if you check out the source code in the description, you would still see the complete code that has both this user function over here. Okay, so let's just go ahead and start up the video without wasting any more time. So in a lot of projects, you would want to use this feature because it comes in handy and it makes your work look really nice. Let's say you want to implement some like a chat feature in your application. You can use this. You don't want when a user clicks on something like hello there and clicks the send button, it will now refresh the page and lead them back to another page. No, you don't want to do that. That's not a really professional way of designing web applications. Rather, you want to use something like AJAX, which is asynchronous JavaScript, to do something like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off the tutorial immediately. I don't want to waste your time. I want to make this tutorial really short and fun. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Now as you can see over here, I already built out some things already. I don't want to go ahead and start building out the projects from scratch. I already created a Django project. If I come over here, you can see that I already have some things already. I created a Django project form sub PRJ. I'm sure you already know how to do this. If you don't know how to do this, I highly recommend you take some of my beginner Django courses on my YouTube channel, and it's gonna help you guys navigate your way through this simple kind of project. But nevertheless, I'm still going to explain everything that I'm doing and everything that I have done. So if you're a total beginner just trying to implement this feature, then you can just go ahead and do it. Okay, so the first thing I did was in my terminal, I firstly created a new Django project with Django-admin start projects. Then I called the project form sub PRJ, which is form submission PRJ. As you can see, this is over here. Okay, then after that, I created a new application. I called it core python manage.py start app. I called it core. Then after that, what I did was in the app, I created a new templates folder, and in the templates folder, I added index.html. Okay, so hopefully you guys understand what's going on here. In the app core, I created a new template and added index.html. So in the index.html, this is where I added this simple bootstrap form. As you can see, this is it over here. You can go ahead, pause the video, type this out, or if you were good with HTML and CSS, you can just go ahead and build out this simple form. Okay, so if you take a close look at this form, you'll see that there's a lot of things that we've got in here, but I'll be explaining this when we get to the template section. But for now, I want to go ahead and explain my view, my models, my admins, and my URLs. Okay, so I'm going to be starting off with the views.py. So in the views.py, as you can see, we are just simply creating a very simple function which is called index, and we are just rendering a template. So we are not doing anything complex. This is very easy, just 2 lines of code. That's what's making this run over here. So let's say we got rid of, let's say we want to add an extra D over here. Now what do you think is going to happen when I come over here and refresh? You see it will say template doesn't exist at index.html but with a double D. That's because over here I need to exactly call this over here. Okay, so this project is very, very easy. If you've been following along with my other tutorials on my YouTube channel by now, you should be getting very, very good with Django, and this shouldn't be a biggie for you. Okay, so after the views, the next thing I've got is my models. So a very, very, very simple model, not robust at all. I just define the class profile and I pass in some field that I would want to use. For example, for the profile, I would want to get the user's full name, their bio, their email, their phone, and that's it. And this over here is just a very simple done that str function that's simply going to return self.name. So that's pretty much it for now. In the next step, we're going to go ahead and start working with the templates. Okay, so now getting over to the index.html, I'm simply gonna come over here and explain some of the things that we've done. So we'll be using Ajax, and for that, in the form, we don't need to pass in anything like method post. No, we don't need anything like this, and that's because we'll be using Ajax to submit this form. But if you're using Django, you know that it's a normal thing or a convention to use the CSRF underscore token if you are used to Django, and if you're using a post form, so you definitely need to do this. And again, you need to give this form an ID. So that's the ID that we're going to be using to call it in the JavaScript Ajax. We're going to call it post form. You can call it whatever you want. So I'm going to say post form, not post from. And in your inputs, you need to give it an ID of name and name of full name. So make sure you are giving it an ID and a name, because this is what we're going to use to get it in the Ajax. So ID, bio, name, bio, placeholder, email, ID, email, name, email, and so on. Okay, hopefully you get the gist. Now in the JavaScript, I'm simply going to open up a script tag, and this is going to have a type of text/JavaScript. Okay, text/JavaScript. And what we are going to do is simply go ahead and use Ajax to now go ahead and submit this form. So to use Ajax and submit this form, the first thing you want to do is simply come over here and call document. So we want to check for the document on submit. So we're checking for on submit of words. So on submit of the post form. Okay, so just follow along with what I'm doing. So on submit of the post form. So this post form here is simply this one that we called over here. So what this means is when we click the submit button over here that is attached to this form, then we want to do something. Okay, so we said on submit of post form, then I think we are simply gonna go ahead and create a function. So we're gonna say function, and in here we need to pass in, okay, let's pass in a parameter e or event. You can call it whatever you want. So that's what we've got now. So if I come over here, and so if I get back to the Django form, now I will click on the submit button. What do you notice? It refreshes the page. Okay, but we don't want that. So in order to prevent that, we are simply going to use a method called e.prevent defaults. Okay, just like this. Now after this, the next thing we want to do is we want to simply go ahead and now use Ajax. So we're going to say $Ajax, just like this. I think it should be $.Ajax. Then over here we need to open up a parentheses and open up a curly bracket in there. So in the curly bracket, we want to simply go ahead and set the type that we're going to be using. So you remember we didn't use a type post in the Django in the form above. That's because I told you guys that we're going to be doing it in here. And also for the URL, we're going to call the URL let's say we're going to call it create. Okay, but for now we don't have any URL. So this is the URL that we're going to be defining in the view. And also we also need what else? We also need data. Yeah, so what data is this gonna be collecting? So firstly, it's gonna be collecting the full name. Remember the full name that we've got over there. Now there's gonna be a $sign. This $sign is simply gonna get the full name. I think this should be in a string. So hash full underscore name. Okay, just like this. And most importantly, we need to get the values of whatever is passed into here. So that's why we call .value. Okay, now there's gonna be a comma, and I'm gonna duplicate this to 4 places. I'm gonna get the bio, Okay, I'm gonna get the bio. This over here is gonna be bio, and I'm also gonna get the email, and this is gonna be email, and finally I'm gonna get the phone. Okay, so this is simply what we need for now. We need the email, the bio, the phone, and yeah, that should be it. So after this, we also need to pass in a CSRF middleware token. So we're gonna say CSRF middleware token. I hope there is no error in the spelling. Yeah, so after the CSRF middleware token, then I'm gonna simply do the same thing that we've been doing. I'm gonna open up a parenthesis, and in here I'm gonna pass in input, and this input is simply gonna have a name in it, and this name should go to the CSRF token. So I'm simply gonna copy this and I'm gonna paste it in here. So this is the way it's done in Ajax. Just follow along with what I'm doing. Hopefully you understand. There is gonna be $, there's gonna be a parentheses, input, and there's gonna be a square bracket name, and we set the name to CSRF middleware token. And finally, we need to get the values. Okay, so after we've gotten the value, I think the next thing we need to do is simply define a success function. So we're gonna say success, and we're gonna pass in a function, and this function is simply gonna take data. Don't worry, we're still gonna work with all this that we are doing in the views, in the Django views. Okay, hopefully you guys understand what I'm saying. Now after this, I think that should be it, apart from the fact that we can just call over here. I think, you know, when we submit this form, let me refresh this form, we need to have something that says, okay, your form was submitted successfully or something. So I'm simply gonna create a h3 tag over here, and let me get rid of the horizontal rule, and in here I'm gonna say profile created successfully. Let's just see how it's gonna look. So this is how it's looking. Profile created successfully. So this is looking better. Now I'm gonna get rid of everything that we've got in here. I'm just gonna get rid of it like that. Now we're gonna manually put this in our Ajax. Okay, so what we're gonna do is over here, after the success function, we've got this data. Now just below here, I'm gonna call the h5 that we've got above. So you remember it's called h5, and I'm gonna say h5.html, and I'm gonna pass in data. Okay, I think we need to have a curly bracket over here, and we are gonna put this in here. We're gonna put this in here. So I think that should be it for the Ajax. Now let's head over to the views.py. Now this is what we've got in the views.py. We need to create a very simple view that's going to be called create. So this is the one that we defined, that we're passing as URL in the Ajax. Now this one is what's going to process the form and all that. So this is going to take in request, and we need to check if request.method. Let me just get back here, and I'm going to open up the view. So we want to check if request.method is equal to post, but this should be in a string. So if request.method is equal to a post, then what do we want to do? So we want to simply go ahead and get all the things that we've got in the form. So we're going to say full name should be equal to request.post, and request.post, what are we going to get? We're going to get full name. Okay, so that's because we are getting this full name because in the index we passed in full name over here as the names. So hopefully you guys understand what's going on. Now after this, I'm going to duplicate this in 4 more places. This one is going to be the bio. This one is going to be the email. This one is going to be the phone. This is going to be the phone, and yeah, I think that should be it. Okay, now what we simply need to do is go ahead and say new profile. So we created a new variable, new profile, and we're gonna say this should be set to profile. But before that, let's say from core.models, we want to import profile. So we're gonna say new profile should be set to profile, and we're gonna pass in full name should be equal to full name. Don't worry, you guys, just hold on a sec. I'm gonna explain what I'm doing over here. And bio should be set to bio, and email should be set to email, and finally phone should be set to phone. Okay, now after this we're simply gonna say new underscore profile dot save. Now what does this mean? We say new profile should be equal to profile full name. So why am I saying full name is equal to full name? Now when you come over to the models, you see that we've got full name over here. So let's say this stuff is full name user. That means in our views.py we're gonna have full name user over here, but we're not gonna have full name user for this one. That's because this one over here is this variable that we created that is getting this from this template over here. Okay, I'm trying my possible best to explain it in a way that you guys are gonna understand. So because we have full name user over here, that's why we have full name user over here. But I'm gonna stick with full name, so you guys will know what's going on. But I found out that if you're using full name, it's gonna confuse a lot of beginners. They're not gonna know what's happening. So those ones that have this yellow color means that that's the name of the model in our models.py. So if this is email blah 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 blah, that means in our models over here we're gonna have email blah 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 blah. Okay, hopefully you guys understand what's going on. Now phone is phone, and simply what we did is save this. Simple as that. Now let's simply define a success variable, and we're gonna set this to, but before that we need to import something. We're gonna say from Django.http we want to import a HTTP response. I think, yeah, HTTP response. So over here we define a success variable and we set it to let's just say something like let's just say profile created successfully. Okay, yeah, as simple as that. Profile created successfully, or we can just call the name of the user. We can say for okay, sorry for that, we can say profile created successfully. How should we go ahead and do this now? Okay, let's just say for name. Okay, yeah, let's say profile created successfully for full name. Yeah, something like this should be good. Okay, then after that we are simply going to return the HTTP response redirect that we created above. So we're going to say return HTTP response redirect, and we're going to pass in success. So this is what going to help us call it in the index.html over here. Okay, so I think, yeah, that should be pretty much it. Hopefully everything is going to work fine. I'm going to go ahead and test this project out to make sure everything is working as expected. Okay, now I want to open up my console, or yeah, I want to open up my console. So as you can see now, we got this. So it says uncut reference error this. Okay guys, so before we test this out, I think we are missing the urls.py. So in the urls.py for the project, this one over here, I'm gonna open this up and I'm simply gonna call create. I'm gonna say create slash. So remember, that's what we called it in the, okay, let's make sure we are importing create, and we're gonna make sure we pass in create and create over here. So why am I calling this stuff create? That's because in the index.html we passed in create over here. So that's pretty much what we would want to do. Now let me refresh this. I think there is an error. Let's check. Okay, I think I am missing a comma over here. So I'm gonna add a comma over there, and yeah, everything should work fine this time around. Okay, so when I refresh this, it's looking good. I'm gonna get rid of all this. Now everything is looking good. So how about I come over to network and let's try submitting this form this time around. So I'm gonna hit submit. And what do you notice? It's just refreshed the form and I don't think something happened. So I'm going to come over to my database, and as you can see, nothing is happening. It's just refreshed the form and nothing happened. So I fill this in, I hit enter, and as you can see, I think it's returning an error message over here. So right now it's just refreshing the form, and this is not actually what we wanted, and it's giving this error over here. So I think we need to import jQuery over here. We need to import jQuery. So I'm just going to paste in this line of code. It's going to be available for you guys. You can simply get it, or you could just pause this this video and just type it out. So I think I need this code in order to make this work. I'm gonna refresh this again and let's try filling in this form and hit submit. So as you can see right now, it doesn't refresh the form again, but we are getting an error now. It says let's head over to the network and see what we are getting. So right now it says profile created successfully for this person over here. Let's head back to our admin and see if it actually creates a profile. So as you can see, it creates, wow, all these profiles. So I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna hit go to delete all this, and I'm gonna come over here and refresh this form so I can manually create another profile and hit submit. So as you can see, it didn't refresh the page, but over here we can see this that says profile successfully created for someone. Now when I come over here and refresh this, what do you notice? We now have one profile that has all the information that we passed in over here. Okay, so that's pretty much what we want to be doing. But right now we can still see our alerts. So how do we get to see our alerts? Now in order to do that, we simply need to head back to our AJAX, and over here we need to pass in a $sign. So a $sign is simply what's going to help us get the alert when we submit the form, so we know that something is actually happening. So now I'm going to fill this form again and I'm going to hit submit. Now what do you notice? It says profile created successfully for AJAX. So yeah, everything is working perfectly fine as expected. Now you can go ahead and work with more things that's going to clear out this field when we successfully submit a profile and all that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. There is a lot that goes into doing this, but I tried my possible best to break it down for you guys. If for any reason you don't understand any method or what a function does, just drop a comment in the comment section below and I'll be there to help you guys fix whatever issue or error that you are encountering. And before I go ahead and cut this video, I want to show you guys one more thing that I think you might run into that you want to avoid. So as you can see over here, we have /create, and in the URLs we are not supposed to have any slash over here. Make sure you get rid of the slash or else you are gonna have an error. Okay, so I think I'm gonna be ending it off for this video right here. To make sure to drop a like, consider subscribing, and also drop a comment, as it will really mean the world to me. I hope I'll see you guys in the next video where I'm gonna go ahead and work with more really amazing Django and JavaScript related projects. In the meantime, mad love, peace out.